Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary, and I'm here this evening with tonight's edition of Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, Love During Lockup, Word on the Street. Bianca has a couple of messages for the fans, and does Daonte already have baby mama drama? Let's hop right into this. So, first of all, Bianca, she has a couple of messages for the fans. One of them involving a rumor that has been flying around about her. So I'm going to let Bianca share her words. And this is Bianca's message for the fans.
What's going on here? Why is everyone acting weird towards me?
No, we're not. Chill. Come on.
No, seriously. What's going on here? Why is everyone acting weird towards me?
Grateful.
So, first of all, she wants to tell everyone she is not pregnant. I guess that's her way of letting everyone know that she's not pregnant. There was some rumors flying around the interwebs that she was. So, Bianca letting everyone know she's not pregnant. Now, this is her second message for the fans.
I am to be living the life that I have been blessed to be living currently, and I have to give it all to God here. I don't think even 6 months ago I would even be sitting here saying something like that. So the past year and a half of my life has been so traumatic, so tumultuous. I was so anxiety ridden. I was a mess, and I'm obviously always going to go through ups and downs. I mean, that's just life. But it's just this like comfort in your heart and this like overwhelming sense of like peace in a way that you get when you put your entire faith into a higher power. For me, it's God. I just don't think even like 6 months ago I would be saying these words and sitting here and just feeling the way that I do. Like, I have been put through the ringer. No one's ever going to understand what I really went through. I know people know my story, but they don't know my story. So just after everything I went through, I like despised God. I was like, why would you put me through this? Like, I lost a baby, I almost died, like, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't understand, but now it makes sense, because where I am right now, if none of that happened, I would not be able to accept Christ into my life and be brought to such a low, low place where the only option is to run to Christ. And that's exactly what happened. And it sounds crazy to say, but if you believe in God and you have a very strong faith, you will understand what I mean. Even just like the forgiveness in my heart that I have been able to give to so many people that have hurt me, especially the person that almost killed me. Just wow, like, I would have never thought that I could even show forgiveness. And it's really just like,
and that is huge. To me, that is huge.
Once I started putting my full faith into God, it's like my mindset, my life just did a 180. And I'm just really happy, and I'm just really proud of myself for the way that I'm choosing to overcome my trauma. And yeah, I know a lot of people are going to be like, what? But I'm just saying, if you understand, you understand. If you don't, just leave it be. This is just me saying that I'm extremely grateful. And I give all my glory to God for the peace in my heart.
So that's Bianca's message. She gives glory to God for all the peace in her heart. She believes that everything happens for a reason, and God is behind everything. Zaria and Troy. Zaria wants to thank everyone for their overwhelming support. regarding her adoption story. So she says, I want to thank everyone who reached out about last week's episode. One of the reasons Troy told me to continue was to tell my story. At 3 years old, I learned I was adopted, and it's something that I battled to gain closure with for 32 years. My cries you heard were 11,688 days of trauma. I cried out. Just me, the producer, and my camera guys. It was a heavy topic that needed to be released. I had so many um, that were adopted and those who had given up their kids for adoption, and they had thanked me for telling my story. I don't resent my parents. I now understand. I forgive my birth mother, and I can never be mad at my dad because he didn't even know about me until 2 years ago. I grew up in a 2-parent home, and I have an amazing mother and father, and they are my parents, and that's just that. I love them with all my heart, and God blessed me to have 2 sets of parents because God already knew if 2 Pisces made a stubborn bull, she was going to need an army. LOL. No, but seriously, thank you all. And then she had went on in another post to say, let me teach y'all about manifesting. Yesterday, me and Don Corleone, which is Troy, are putting stuff together. Got our Jill Scott plane just kicking it. So I'm putting up the pictures and I'm looking at the picture on the left. And I'm like, did y'all know that in 6 months of Troy coming home, y'all will be on TV and living on the lakefront? So Troy goes, yeah, we believed it. Did you? We started laughing, but I started to look closely at the picture. What spoke to me was the sadness in our eyes, grief, and just a glimmer of God's hope and promise that we will be together in the real world. Then I looked at the background of the picture, and God said, look closer. I kid you not. I screamed, Troy. I'm like, yo, look at the background of our click click. I'm like, Troy, it's our backyard. The lake, the trees, even the lines that look like a bench. We were speechless. The whole time we were looking for signs, and the sign was there all along. In Mohawk, that picture is permanent. It doesn't change, and you got to keep taking pictures with that same background. LOL. So when Troy came closer to Syracuse, God was already trying to show us what was to come. Sometimes we think God doesn't give us signs and confirmation, but God just wants you to open your eyes. Nothing we have is because of us, and I want people to understand, I don't care what you think. We have everything because of God. So that's Saria's message of the week. Now we have Mr. and Mrs. Montana Mills. You know, I better watch out, guys. They have their competing podcasts. What is the name of this thing again? Married, Messy, and Uncut. Apparently, it's out on all major platforms. I better watch out because I have competition, maybe. And apparently, there's some behind the scenes stuff from his video shoot. So, yeah. Mr. and Mrs. Mills in the studio. Louis and Melissa, have I mentioned lately how much I love this couple? If you haven't checked out my recap with Melissa for last week, some episode, she got to show off her ring during the recap. So if you guys haven't checked it out, please do. And if I haven't mentioned lately how much I love Louis, I think Louis is one of the best guys on the Love After Lockup franchise in years. Just saying. Now, have I also mentioned lately how much I love Britney and KY as a couple? I hate their storyline this season, but I love them as a couple. Now, Daonte, do you have baby mama drama already? Now, unless you guys, haven't heard the news, Daonte and his girlfriend Addie made the announcement this week that she's pregnant. So Mary Pants and I did a collab post on the gram congratulating Daonte on his 18 years of child support, when a little argument broke out in the comments. So Lindsay, yes, that Lindsay, commented, all my flabbers are gasted. And then Addie, Daonte's baby mama, commented back, I've been nice, but now I've got a problem with you. Did you stop smoking during your pregnancy? And someone else commented, my sister is 18 years old. She's an adult. Mind yours. Didn't you do it, boo? And when I saw these comments, I'm like, oh boy. Someone else replies to Lindsay, please don't reply back to them. I mean, anything with a teen in it speaks volumes. And Lindsay replies, I'm not even responding. I mean, she's my child's age. I cannot actually see myself arguing with a child. This is all going on. Mary Pantses and I collab posts simply congratulating Daonte on his 18 years of child support. And then Addie took to her story because apparently Lindsay went live and Lindsay was wondering out loud on the live whether Addie would quit smoking and drinking during her pregnancy. And Addie took to her story, and this was her response. In response to Lindsay's live, no, I will not be drinking or smoking during my pregnancy. The last weed I smoked was the night before I took the test, and I don't drink or vape anymore. So yes, I stopped smoking weed as soon as I found out I was pregnant, for everyone wondering. Then she goes on to say, she puts up a screenshot of the comments of the post, and she goes on to say, okay, you jealous jailbird. I'm not arguing with someone who can't even vote. And since you're worried about my pregnancy, did you stop smoking when you were pregnant with Miley? Oh, didn't think so. Which Lindsay responded, vote. You are a registered voter as a felon. So Lindsay wanted to let everyone know that what Addie was saying is not true. If you are a felon, as long as you are a registered voter and you're not currently incarcerated, yes, you're allowed to vote. Maurice voted, Mandy voted, and even Lindsay's ex-Blaine voted. So as you can see, all felons, but totally allowed to vote. Now, Daonte, for his part, he took to the gram, to his page, and I'm going to share the first couple of minutes. Okay, if you guys want to hear everything he had to say, you could go to his page. It's a 2-part video, but I just want to share the first couple of minutes because, in my opinion, I don't believe Daonte did himself any favors by doing this, but hey, it's only my opinion, and we all know what I have to say about opinions. Everyone has one, kind of like an asshole. So, okay, let's go to Daonte, and let me share what he has to say.
People, how you doing? And happy election day if you went out and voted. So I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible because I'm at work and I'm on my lunch break. So I got to be brief, but I got a lot to get out. You know, I know there's a lot of news surrounding me. And I know that people have probably been anticipating me coming out, you know, and saying something and just kind of wanting to hear my thoughts and how I feel about all of this. And so here it goes, you know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you know, I've been dating a girl named Addie for quite a while. And I got the news a few days ago that, you know, we're expecting. And, you know, as far as how I feel about that, it's kind of surreal to me still. It's still kind of something that I'm kind of still speechless and in shock about. And I'm happy at the same time, and I'm nervous. and honestly don't really know how to feel, you know, simply because this is not something that I ever thought was going to happen for me, nor did she think it was going to happen for her. You know, I honestly got to a point where I felt like I couldn't make kids. I didn't feel like I was fertile, you know, and reason being, you know, is because, you know, whereas she, you know, can count on one hand how many people she's been with. Me, I'm a little older than her. The other elephant in the room that I'll address here, you know, and so as far as I go, I can't count on two hands how many women I've been with in my lifetime. And I've honestly had a lot of unprotected sex, and I've never actively went out trying to make kids, but for as much as I've done it, it's never happened. So I just, after a while, started to feel like, you know, I just couldn't do it. It's something that I've always wanted. You know, I know there's a story going around that it's something that me and her have been planning for a long time. But truth be told, it was never really something that we had planned. It's just something that I always wanted, something that she wanted, and something that we just didn't think was going to happen.
Okay, so this is why I say I believe Daonte didn't do himself any good. Okay, and the second part, I believe, isn't any better. I mean, he does make a promise to his child at the end of the video. But unfortunately, Daonte being Daonte, the message really didn't come quite across. And I really don't think he did himself any good. But that's just my opinion. So the comments, the comments. Okay, anyway, so moving on. I just want to say, if by any chance, Addie, you're listening to me, girl, you have a long 9 months ahead of you of being stuck and poked and prodded and having doctors sticking their fingers and their hands up in you. Girl, welcome to pregnancy. Before I wrap up this edition of Word on the Street, just a couple of miscellaneous updates. And speaking of pregnancy, Eris is about to pop. Okay, she's 33 weeks and over it. Charlie is adorable. You guys all know how I feel about Charlie. And a throwback picture of Cam. Okay. We have Dylan and his selfies, and Marissa is also a content creator. Guys, I have so much competition. So now Marissa is doing a YouTube channel, and her first video is a day in the life of a ring girl. And speaking of Dylan and Marissa, and we have to bring in Heather. And Heather says she was bullied out of her vote, but we won anyway. Congratulations to President Trump. How Heather was bullied out of her vote, I have no idea. Her words, not mine. And we have Jana with a fall photo dump. Santia and Lacy is still around if you want to talk to her. Now, I have a great big favor to ask you guys, okay? After you finish watching me, you need to search Ask Aunt Cam on YouTube, and you need to please subscribe to her channel. She is the aunt of one of my followers, and Donna's aunt has some great advice that Love After Lockup cast members could use, 90 Day Fiance cast members could use, and basically all of us could use. So please subscribe to Ask Aunt Cam when you're done watching me. And if you haven't checked out my collaboration with one of my favorite YouTube content creators, SAS Scales, please do. I went live on her channel yesterday. I'll put the link in my description box. And if you don't subscribe to SAS, please subscribe to her. And I just want to say, you know, with all of this political stuff going on and people being pissed off about the results of the election and everything going on in the world, I really don't watch the news. So this is pretty much me trying to figure out what the heck is going on just by looking at memes. Thank you so much for watching me. Please subscribe if you don't already. Hit that like button, share my video with a friend or 10, and please consider joining my membership. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.